Welcome to today's global news update. Stay informed, stay watchful, pray always, and be ready as Jesus said in Luke 21 verse 36. Let's take a look at today's global news. Global Update covers key developments across Palestine, Cuba, Venezuela, and Ukraine. Mark Carney responds to Conservative MP's U.S. visit amid trade tensions. Alberta Premier calls for accountability in voter list investigation linked to separatist group. Man charged with first-degree murder in Calgary following deaths of 2 children. 1 year later, mystery continues in disappearance of Lily and Jack Sullivan. Gaza aid ships diverted to Crete following Israeli interception. Supreme Court rules Parliament can limit free speech in certain cases. Man appears in court over attempted murder charges linked to knife attacks. Trump expresses doubts over Iran deal progress amid ongoing negotiations. Trump plans to raise EU auto tariffs to 25% amid trade dispute. A global overview today brings attention to ongoing developments across multiple regions, including the occupied Palestinian territory, Cuba, Venezuela, and Ukraine. Each region faces unique political, economic, or security challenges that continue to shape international discourse. Analysts emphasize the importance of global cooperation and diplomacy in addressing these issues. The interconnected nature of modern geopolitics means that developments in one region can have broader implications worldwide. Canadian Prime Minister Mark Carney has responded to concerns regarding a Conservative MP's visit to the United States during a period of trade tensions. Carney emphasized that official negotiations remain under government control, reaffirming Canada's position in ongoing discussions. The situation reflects the complexity of international trade relations, where political actions can influence economic negotiations. Analysts suggest that maintaining a unified diplomatic approach is essential for securing favorable outcomes. The Alberta Premier has called for accountability following reports that a separatist group may have been involved in the improper handling of voter lists. Authorities are investigating the situation to determine whether any laws were violated and how the data was accessed. The issue raises serious concerns about election integrity, data security, and political transparency. Officials stress that protecting voter information is critical to maintaining trust in democratic systems. Authorities in Calgary have charged a man with first-degree murder following the deaths of 2 children in a tragic case that has shocked the community. Investigators are working to understand the circumstances surrounding the incident, including possible motives and timeline of events. Community members and officials have expressed deep concern and sympathy for those affected. The case highlights the seriousness of violent crime and the ongoing efforts of law enforcement to seek justice. The disappearance of Lily and Jack Sullivan remains unresolved 1 year later, leaving investigators and families searching for answers. Authorities describe the case as highly unusual, with limited evidence available to explain what happened. Efforts continue to gather information, review leads, and seek public assistance. The prolonged uncertainty has deeply affected those close to the missing individuals, while the case continues to draw public attention and concern. Aid flotilla vessels bound for Gaza have been diverted to Crete following interception by Israeli authorities. The incident highlights ongoing tensions in the region and the challenges associated with delivering humanitarian assistance. International observers are closely monitoring the situation, calling for peaceful resolution and continued support for affected populations. The development underscores the complexity of geopolitical conflicts and the need for coordinated international efforts. The Supreme Court has ruled that while free speech in Parliament is a fundamental principle, it can be restricted in narrow and specific circumstances. The decision outlines conditions under which such limitations may apply, balancing democratic freedoms with institutional responsibilities. Legal experts say the ruling could influence how parliamentary conduct is managed in the future. The decision reflects the ongoing effort to maintain order while preserving democratic rights. A man has appeared in court charged with attempted murder following a series of knife attacks on 3 individuals. Authorities allege that the attacks were carried out in a targeted manner, and investigations are ongoing to determine the motive. The case has raised concerns about public safety and violent crime. Legal proceedings will continue as the court examines evidence and hears arguments from both sides. Former U.S. President Donald Trump has expressed dissatisfaction with the latest proposal from Iran, raising uncertainty about the possibility of a deal. The statement comes amid ongoing diplomatic efforts to address tensions between the two countries. Analysts note that negotiations remain complex, involving multiple stakeholders and sensitive geopolitical considerations. The situation continues to evolve as both sides evaluate their positions. Donald Trump has indicated plans to raise tariffs on automobile imports from the European Union to 25% as part of an ongoing trade dispute. The move could have significant implications for global trade, impacting manufacturers, consumers, and economic relations. Analysts warn that escalating tariffs may lead to retaliatory measures and increased market volatility. The development underscores the complexity of international trade negotiations and economic strategy.